Okay, good morning, YouTube. Like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel. No one really said anything about a topic in the last video in the comments. So this, I'm going to pick relationships because a lot of things that people have input on in relationships. And before I start the video and my thoughts on relationships, I want to say that I am not a therapist, a counselor, or a psychiatrist. These are just my thoughts and my opinions on relationships. And so for the most part. So the first thing I want to talk about is submitting and submission. Who should submit in relationships? Even though this probably is something that comes like down the line in a relationship, but it's also something that people have questions about. I have questions about it myself. My take on it is in how I feel about submitting in a relationship after you have established boundaries and guidelines and just things that you want to base your relationship off. Respect, privacy, and things like that. If you're going to, like, my opinion, and me submitting into a relationship, it has to be like a respect. We have to have respect for each other. Guidelines on how we gonna move forward in our relationship. Because some people in relationships, they have say, just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that you're like committed. So you gotta have that, you gotta be committed to, in my opinion, in order to submit to this person and stuff like that in a relationship. And then you have to talk about, to me, you have to be talking about marriage. Y'all gonna get married and things like that. But first, before the submission, you have to, my opinion, I have to have a love for you or love you to the point where we've talked about where we're gonna go in this relationship, besides us just meeting and we don't know where we're gonna go. So it has to be at a point in time where we're in this relationship, you want the same things that I want, and we've come to terms with the fact that, okay, we're in this relationship, we're committed to each other, we respect each other, we have certain boundaries, as far as other people are concerned, and we're not seeing anyone but the two of us. So and we, like I said, we've always also talked about getting married. So in the respect thing, we have to respect each other. So if there's no respect in the relationship, there will be no submission, and no the boundaries are already going to be crossed, because you got to respect each other first in order to take it past other things in a relationship. So if I don't have no respect for you and you don't have no respect for me, we pretty much don't have a relationship, in my opinion. And so, or if I have lost respect for you because of something you did, because you have to respect me and I have to respect you. So once the respect is broken, it's hard to get that back, in my opinion. So also commitment. So like I said, if there's no respect, there's really not gonna be, why commit to a relationship that you can't there's no respect there. So, in my opinion, in relationships, if I'm with this person and say we've had a good 6 months, and it's just been me and this person, and we know what our goals are, we know what our future wants and needs. We've sat down, we've said this is what we want to do. We've he knows my family, I know his family. We spent time with each other's families. And we decide that we want to take it to another step. So we get engaged. Once you get engaged, then something happens. Say one person gets upset with something the other person has done. I'm not going to say whether she did or he did. This is how you really can tell whether your relationship is worth carrying on. In other words, if one person decides they're upset and then they just get irate and says hurtful, meaningful things to the other person, so that's the respect right there. So once that respect and the name calling and all that stuff that went, and it's hard to, once you say words, once you put words out there, it's hard to take words back. So when you're in relationships, in my opinion, things have to be, you know that you're not going to always get along. You know that you're not going to always agree. It's how you handle the not getting along and the not agreeing, in my opinion. Because if you decide that you want to be upset and not talk to the other party, say for like 2 or 3 days, after you had words, you decide you don't want to talk to the other party for 2 or 3 days, and you don't answer the other party's phone calls or text messages, or when they knock on the door to come visit you and stuff like that, that is real bad on the relationship and communication. So after you decide you want to be mad anymore, so say this is the 4th day, you haven't talked to the other person that you have agreed to have a relationship with and that you're committed to. So what is the other party supposed to think after, the 4 days? How do you proceed in the relationship after no communication for 4 days? And then the other party decides that they don't want to be mad no more. They want to come back like, that nothing, ever happened. So how do you deal with these things? This is a question I'm asking you two. And you can leave your answer in the comments. Because like I said, I'm not a counselor or a psychiatrist or a therapist. I need some answers as well as I could give you some input on things. And another thing is, I don't think that you should submit to a person that you're in a relationship with until after you are married. That's just my opinion. Because like I said, because in a relationship, just like you get upset, you don't talk to the other party. So you've submitted to this person not knowing, how they gonna handle situations. That's why, my opinion, I think people, even though they say people don't believe in long engagements, and then they say they don't think people should live together before they are married, but that's all that old school stuff. Me personally, I think you should be engaged at least a year, if not longer, so you could get to know that other person. Because they say your relationship is mostly tried once someone is upset and you see how the other party handles it. That would be a big bearing on your relationship once you are married. And it's not easy to get out of a marriage like it is to stop being in a relationship with a person. So if you like the other person is calling you out of your name and things like that, and you see these things while you're in the relationship and engaged to this person, to me, those are red flags. Sometimes we as women, we don't always want to acknowledge those red flags for different reasons. I don't know. Sometimes we just want to be in a relationship. Sometimes we just want companionship. Sometimes we just want to be loved. So we'll just stay, you know. And so, and then we end up in situations that we really feel that we can't get out of once we done said I do. So if you see these red flags, these anger things, out of either or the man or the woman, you may need to take initiative and just walk away from these situations, because they don't get better, they only get worse. Like verbal abuse, say he called you out of your name, and you know, some other things. Next, it may be, you know, something 10 times worse than him calling you out of your name, you know. So even for the men, she may, you know, decide that she's upset, so she want to throw a slap or something. So it don't get better, it only gets worse. If you let her slap you that one time and you forgave her for it, and you know, y'all go on with y'all relationship, next time she may decide she want to hit you with a broom. So all these things are not good in relationships. And I'm saying these things from I don't want to say personal experience, but some of them are personal experience that I could say. So, and also to save yourself from grief or late night crying, or just, you know, laying in the bed with your other back to back, you know, not touching. These are things, once you have let these things pass and then go on in your relationship, and now they're in your marriage, and it's like, you know, I didn't get married to, you know, not have the companionship that I wanted, or not have the intimacy that I wanted, or not having the, you know, the other things. I don't want to say, you know, but you know, the other things that goes along with the intimacy in your marriage. So my opinion, this is just my opinion. When you're first starting to talk to this person, just make sure you pay attention to the red flags. It may be a little red flag. Y'all talking on FaceTime and he gets mad because he think you're not paying him enough attention, and he just get an attitude. That's a red flag. Or she just get an attitude because she thinks if you're talking to someone to the side, you know, and she gets upset and she gets, you know, an attitude because she said you're not paying her enough attention. These are red flags. Or you know, a little disagreement and they just, you know, just go to the roof, you know, and be like, or walk out, or just hit things and stuff like that. Those are red flags. So, because hitting things, next it'll be hitting you. So, yeah, these are just, to me, these are red flags in relationships. Because, like I said, some of these things are from personal experience, and some of them are just, you know, it's things that I've seen. Because you want someone that wants to be, you know, respectful. You need somebody that's going to be respectful to you, someone that you feel is going to protect you as a person, as a woman, as a mate, as a companion. You want someone that wants to protect you as a person, you as a whole, you as a woman. You want to protect your heart and wants to make sure that you're happy, and vice versa. I want you to make me happy, and I want to be the one to make you happy. Relationships shouldn't be where it's like you're putting in so much work to after you've been upset to make up because you've been upset for 5 days. I got to make it up to her because I called her a name and now I'm sorry, so I'm trying to make it up to her, and you're just going, some things you shouldn't be working so hard for to make up, because there's some things that you should be doing all along. Just like for him with the female, if it's a female and she done did something to you, and so she feel like, I got to make it up to him because I hit him with a broom and now I'm sorry, and I shouldn't have did it, and I feel bad that I did it, so now I want to make it up to him. But then it's hard on your relationship once you've not talking for 5 days or spoken for 5 days or 4 days, or to your spouse because you've been upset, or your girlfriend or your fiance, because it's like you haven't talked to me for 5 days, you haven't touched me for 5 days, and we haven't had any kind of intimacy or any kind of communication, but then you're not mad no more and you want me to come back to you like nothing happened. And that has already put it has already played a part in our relationship. It feels like it has pushed the other person away, and so it's like that the other person is trying to make up to the other party, but the other party already feels like they want to put that wall back up, on their heart, because this is what I'm gonna have to deal with in this relationship with the other person. So it's like it's hard, because if this is repetitious, the other person is gonna feel like no love, if that's the how you say it. It's gonna feel like, how can I love this person and this is how they react to me not cooking dinner, or this is how they react to me accidentally bleaching their favorite shirt, or this is how they respond to I didn't put no gas in their car when I finished driving it. So this is how they're gonna act in these situations, and get angry and call names and things like that. But then when it all dies down and they're not mad no more, they want to hug and kiss and things like that, and you just feel like we haven't been this way for days, and now this is what you're coming back to me, and and it's like nothing ever happened. The other party it's not going to react to you the way that you're reacting to them, because you pushed them away for these days. But anyway, this is my opinion on some things in relationships and some red flags in relationships, but other people may feel different. So leave me a comment on how you feel about relationships and how you feel about the red flags and respect, love, intimacy, and commitment. And then I may talk about some other things in my next video. Thank you for listening, and please like, comment, and share.